And so it begins. Welcome back, people. This is Tone. And this is going to be our Dynasty for the Northwestern Wildcats, NCAA Football 09. Now, two things I want to get into real quick, very quickly. The first thing about NCAA Football 09, if you don't know, this game has a discipline glitch where several of the teams in the game, including yourself if you're not careful, suffer from NCAA sanctions a little bit too much. So we're gonna clean that up. I actually know how to edit the actual Dynasty file. So what I'm gonna do is readjust the discipline rating for all the recruits and also the actual players that are already on the team. So that should be a non-issue. Next thing is recruiting. We're going to do something different. With 3-star program, we're only going to go after 3-star recruits and 4-star recruits that have us in that top 5, but only a certain amount. I also have this house rule for recruiting. I rolled a virtual dice, a couple of dice online, and between the numbers 1 and 12. The number I rolled was 6. So I can only personally go after 6 recruits in this dynasty. The rest will have to be populated by the recruiting assistant mechanic. And that's going to be for in-game, in-season recruiting, and I can roll the dice again for after-season recruiting. So I'm really excited about that part of it, how recruiting is going to go. Not being able to go after all the guys that I really want and having to depend on the computer. So right now we're getting into our red shirting. Not much to see here. I debated whether to even put this in a video. Basically, looking at this, I just pretty much put a red shirt on all freshmen. I don't like red shirting upperclassmen most of the time. Only if I'm super deep at a certain position would I consider it. But yeah, everybody who got a red shirt in this first year, they were true freshmen. So from what I remember, from what I'm looking at, we won't have any true freshman contributors this season. Maybe at the tight end spot, which I probably missed when I was going over our recruiting strategy and how we're going to be doing that. I'm so excited about that. So that's pretty much our only house rule for this dynasty. Another thing that might come as a shock to you guys, I'm going to be rolling this dynasty on varsity. And before you say something, don't knock it till you try it. This varsity set I've been in the lab cooking up is killer, man. I don't know if you saw my last video. If not, go watch it. You don't have to watch the whole video. Just watch some clips. Watch me get absolutely shellacked by USC in the fourth quarter as Washington State. 3 picks. That's not me throwing picks on purpose. I'm not trying to lose on purpose. I'm a competitor just like you guys. But yeah, 3 picks in the third quarter, and we lose 40-something to whatever. I didn't score any points. The Super Sim scored all the points. So yeah, that's the set. Go check that set out in a previous video. So that's it for the red shirts. Not really much to see there, as I said, just a bunch of freshmen. Here's our first opponent for the week. It's going to be Syracuse in our dynasty. No games have been played, of course. So you can see they're a C+ team. We're a B- team. Should be a close game with this varsity set that I have cooked up. So we'll see. Next, we get into recruiting. And as I said, I've already chosen my 6 guys. And this is me basically allocating the hours I want each guy to get. And I have to save some points for the CPU. So we can't get too greedy. I don't want to bust a couple of guys with 50 and leave the CPU with none. I don't want to kind of cheat the system that way. Northwestern is an interesting team. First thing I love about them is their offense. I love their offense, their offensive formations, which we're going to see later in the video. And I like the fact that they're a small school, they're an academic school, and it's a good school for me to build up. Now, what's interesting about the recruiting assistance mechanic, and that's going to make recruiting a bit difficult, is you would think the CPU would focus on securing your pipeline. But what they like to do, they go after guys in different states. We have nobody in our pipeline from Oklahoma, but they put an Oklahoma guy on the board. Here's Anthony Coleman. Luckily for us, we're his first choice. His interest level is pretty high compared to Oklahoma. So we're gonna go after that dude super hard, really, really hard. 6'2", 240. Yes, 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 sir. Out of Anderson Mill, Texas. I live in Texas. I have no idea what it is, but he is the ranked nationally #1. This guy here I want really bad too. John Bailey out of San Jose, California, national rank 1. He's a center, 6'2", 285. His measurables are pretty good. Yeah, so we want to try to get him. He's a 3-star recruit, 6'5", 316. What I liked about him was his size. I love his size. His strength leaves a little bit to be desired on a bench press. We're going to rock with him. We're going to try to get him. This is a CPU recruit. We didn't recruit this kid. Yeah, he's a wide receiver out of Illinois. 3-star recruit. What's his 40 time? Didn't look like it was too fast. We also did not recruit this running back, but he's got a second on the list with our rival Illinois. So we'll see if the CPU will be able to pull that out. That's going to be interesting to watch them watching the CPU fight after recruits. Brad Thomas, did we select him? No, that's another CPU recruit out of DeKalb, Illinois. Well, at least the CPU's they picked a few Illinois people, so that kind of shut my argument down, I guess. Yep, 4.51 in a 40-yard dash, not really fast like I like him. Here's another kid we didn't recruit, a quarterback, who once again fighting with Illinois for him. We'll see how that goes. Throw accuracy D+. Oh no. Marco Johnson, here's a guy that I recruited. Wide receiver out of South Houston, Texas. Yeah, so let's see how that goes. Kevin Clayton. I also recruited Kevin Clayton. Defensive end out of Westmont, California, 6'2", 290. 3-star recruit. Strength is good. Speed is pretty good. First on our list. Junior Williams. East Peoria, Illinois. We did not recruit him. He's a tight end. 6'4", 230. That's a CPU recruit, and he's #1 on the list. So the CPU is actually doing a pretty good job. I don't know about that. So we have to keep an eye on that. Brandon Campbell, we also did not recruit him. We didn't recruit any quarterbacks. We're so full of quarterbacks. This tackle we didn't recruit is this 3-star recruit out of Illinois. Well, it seems like I have to take that argument back. It seems like the CPU is targeting a lot of our guys from our home state. So that's a good thing. That's a real good thing. Yes, Jason Wood is a wide receiver that I chose out of Weslaco, Texas. 4.45, decent speed, decent hands. Everything is pretty much average. Fighting with 2 other teams, we're in the 3rd spot. Cornerback out of Idabel, Oklahoma. We did not select him. He's small, 5'11", 180. Oh no. I don't know what I would do with him if he actually signed with us. There's another player that the CPU chose to recruit. 6'5", 331. Great size on that tackle, man. He's a big boy. Good squat. His bench would be nice to see it a little higher. Fighting with the Iowa Hawkeyes to get that kid. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's recruiting, guys. Another part of the game that's part of the Dynasty. I don't know how far back this goes, maybe to 2007. But you can game prep for opponents. We will not be doing any game prep because what we don't want is anything that's going to give us an unfair advantage against the CPU. Also forgot to mention we will not be doing any summer training either because that's too highly weighted in favor of the human. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. If you wanted to see the Oklahoma drills and the passing skeletons, you got to do that on your own time, baby, because we're not doing that over here. All right, guys. Here's our depth chart. Our starter is Bashir. Pretty good starter. Is a great starter. Well, not great, but solid. And of course, we have one of the best running backs in the game, 92 overall, Terrell Sutton. That guy was a straight beast in real life too. Real good player. I've always been not always been a fan of Northwestern, but I'm a diehard LSU fan. But Northwestern is one of my top 5 teams that I like to support. There's a tight end, serviceable. Our line I would consider average. Our best player, I believe, is our right tackle, and he's second team Big Ten preseason. He's our best lineman. So you will want your best tackle to be on the left side for a right-hand quarterback, naturally. But you know, we're gonna keep it the way it is. If we need to make adjustments to our roster and our alignments, we'll do that. I really like our outside linebackers. They're pretty solid, you know, in the 80s, pretty solid players. Our safeties are really good, and they're really big. Yeah, average kickers, but that's the roster, guys. Okay, now let's get into our formations, our playbook. Well, not necessarily our playbook, but our formations. Eye tight, you just saw the ace form, shotgun, halfback normal wing tight end, wing trips over, spread flex weak, trips halfback weak, 5 wide, goal line of course. And yeah, the ace twin tight end slot. That's the playbook. Majority shotgun spread, and that's the offense we're going to be running. Let's go ahead and check our contract and see what's expected of us. Beat Illinois, finish in the top 3 in the Big Ten. Beat a 5 or 6 prestige team. Shouldn't be too difficult, but we'll see if we can get at least 2 out of 3 within the first couple of years. Let's go ahead and get into the magazine, check the top 25. Of course, we're nowhere close to it. When I checked the actual rankings for all 117 teams, 100, however many teams there are, we were like number 70 something. So Illinois, actually, what was that? Top 18, I believe. I don't know if I missed it. If it went, yeah, probably. Believe top 18. Heisman Tebow, Beanie Wells, Percy Harvin, Chase Daniel, and Michael Crabtree. Those are your preseason Heisman favorites. Here's what's important. This is the Big Ten outlook. And you see the usual suspects: Ohio State, Wisconsin, Michigan a little lower than they usually are. And they have us in the cellar, people. No respect for the Wildcats. Just straight disrespecting us. They spit on us and walking over our backs. But it's our job to make liars out of them. So, yes, come join me for this Dynasty. I'm really excited about it. I decided to actually speak during the games. And I don't know how I'm going to cut that video. Editing is a big chore. So, yeah, stay tuned for the actual game. That should be uploaded and ready for viewing a little bit after this video. So I'll see you at the game, guys. Go Wildcats.